Hello everyone, I'm Mijean from Euro for You magazine, and today is I will have a good friend of mine, and he's going to entertain us with some music tonight. He's from Buenos Aires, and his name is Felipe, and I will let you discover him. So we are getting connected. Waiting. Hello, Felipe.
How
Ciao.
are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yes. Thank you for accepting my Instagram live stream. Huh?
Thank
And
you for inviting me.
yes, I was telling everyone that tonight you are going to entertain us a little bit with some music. I think it,
Yes, that's
yes, I think this time is necessary to have some music and to get through it. No?
I agree. It keeps me calm here.
Yes,
It's good these days having music around.
yes. So I will let you soon play some music. But how are you dealing in Buenos Aires with the situation for the moment? Like the
Well,
coronavirus and so on.
it's not changing much the last few weeks.
Hmm.
We are in strict lockdown,
Yeah.
uh, especially in the big cities. There has been no deregulation yet, so we're still doing mandatory quarantine,
Yes.
and it's we don't know what's going to be next.
Okay.
Eventually, we'll have to normalize things, but it doesn't seem it's going to be soon.
Okay. But people are worried, of course, like what is going to
Yes.
happen next. Mm.
Most likely, it's not as bad here as it's many places in Europe or North America.
Yeah. Okay. So I will let you. What are you going to do for us? Is like play a song, sing, or is it more guitar? What can we
It's
expect?
both. It's both. I will be singing and playing the guitar. One song. Many people, even outside Latin America, may know this song because it's the opening song for the Netflix series called Narcos.
Yeah.
So many people will know it, I guess. I will start with that one.
Yes. Okay. I say go ahead. Let's
Okay.
start.
Soy el fuego que arde en tu piel, soy el agua que el castigo del torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal, tú el aire que respiro yo, la luz de la luna en el la garganta que ansía que te mata de amor. ¿Cuáles deseos me vas a dar? Ah, dice tú mi tesoro, basta con mirar y tuyo será, tuyo será.
Now you can. And the next song is
Um, I was thinking of saving it for the end, but we can do it now. It's called Insane.
yes.
Should we do it now?
Yes. Now you can do it now.
It's a song by Sean James. He's a singer from the US. It's a very nice song. It's not what he usually does, but this one is very nice. So, okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Lately, I've been thinking that everyone's insane. Lost their minds are in the world and now who's to blame themselves. They just can't see that. So pack your bags and leave the past that go for right. The wind and water carry us, they will be our guides tonight. We'll just sail free. The moon will light up through this darkened seas, I'm sure. And all the world will stare and wonder where we'll go. Have you ever thought of leaving everything you've ever loved? Starting over someplace inexplicably alone and alone. That's what I crave. It's a thrill that keeps me going and puts the gleam in my eye. Advantages to conquer and monstrous and surprise and know the world is my stage. Well, maybe someday you'll see how it all makes sense to me. And then you jump on board and we can sail the seven seas.
That's good.
Thank you.
Mhm. And where did for you that and motivation come from, that inspiration to sing? Did you follow classes, or you always had it, like, or you come from a musical family?
Well, I come from an artistic family, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a very musical family, but I did have my older brother playing all kind of instruments that I grew up. So that was an inspiration, but I never really took any classes, formal classes. I only did some classes for like a month or so, but then I quit. Most of what I know is just self-taught, but I'm still just a beginner. It's not that I've really studied it.
But you have a passion for it. You really like to sing. That is it.
Yeah, I do have a passion. I have passion for a lot of things, so that's kind of what also makes it hard for me to
Yes.
continue moving. It's just I see it more as a way to just relax or express myself, but it's actually not what's it's not my primary passion, I would say.
Mm-hmm. But I know you have also a lot of interest into politics, huh? Because when we met, you can be really dedicated, really passionate about it when you talk about it, and especially politics in your country, I think, because you are still students and you also engage into politics. Can you explain a little bit what you do? Because I know a little bit, but not everyone knows what you do as well. While studying, being politically engaged. Can you?
Well, I think the most important way in which I relate to politics is that I study it. I'm a political science student. I don't actually practice it. I'm not a politician, nor do I plan to be one right now. But the most important way in which I engage with it is, well, studying it, and then just like everyone else, by having an opinion with it. I did have some experience in politics when I was younger, but I eventually realized that it was important for me to study first. I also had some experience working for the national government in public policy, but it was not what I would call politics. It was more what is called government.
Mm-hmm.
I was working in a public policy that was pretty much successful. It's not existing anymore, as far as I know. But I was working on a chatbot, an automated chatbot that the one you talk, for example, many companies or banks have it, that it's not an actual person you're chatting with, but it's a robot. So I was working in a project in which a chatbot was created to engage with pregnant women and with uh, mothers with newborns, and
Yeah.
it was teaching them, giving them a lot of official and safe information about pregnancy and motherhood and how to take care of themselves and of their child. Uh, and well, that was, I would say, my most important experience in the subject.
Okay. But I so remember you were also writing or not, like some kind of a blog or newspaper.
Yes, I am writing. I am participating in a student magazine in my university. Uh, and I have also participated in one when I was in my exchange program in Paris in Sciences Po.
Yeah.
I do like to write. I'm writing a piece right now with Sophie, who I think is in this
Yes.
live. We are
And
working
what
on a
kind
piece.
of topics do you write about usually when you are?
Well, it's mostly related to politics. I mean, but I didn't write enough for me to have like
Mhm.
like a specific area of. I mean, I published an article last year uh, in which I spoke about what was going on in Latin America with all the protests and the elections,
Mhm.
and that was published on the university club I was going at Sciences Po in Paris.
Yeah.
And then for this magazine I'm working in these days, which is the student magazine in my own university here in Buenos Aires, I published about fake news and how it works on politics. And now I'm writing with Sophie something about well, the uses and the limitations of technology and digital technology for public policy.
Yeah. And do you find it important to inform? I think you find it quite important to inform other people, other young people about what is going on. I think you want people to be more aware of what is going on in yes, in politics, in the society. You want to inform them, of course. Huh?
Well, what I wrote in the last article I wrote for the student magazine, which is called La Curva, you can see it. I think the link of the article is on my Instagram page right now. Uh,
Yeah.
what I wrote about it, it's very much related to what you're asking me right now. It's, I think, a very important challenge everyone has, especially when we're talking about delicate subjects such as public health in the middle of a pandemic, is the importance of going against the political mechanisms of fake news. Fake news are being used in order to take advantage of these kind of situations uh, and to gain politically from them. It's being used to take advantage and to gain political approval, to gain support uh, at the expense of truth, at the expense of the well-being of society. Because when, for example, a news media
Yeah.
lies about the origin of the virus or what can be done to prevent it, uh, or, for example, I saw the other day an article was published that said that nicotine consumption was good in the fight against coronavirus because people with high uh, with smoking people or people with high nicotine consumption uh, were
High
having
risk,
less
they say.
problems with the virus. But then I saw a heart disease organization explaining, well, this the scientific who published this article has been found to be financially supported by uh, the cigarettes industry.
Yeah. So you
So
say as well. Yes.
there's a
So
lot of interest behind these things. What I wrote is, well, my main idea is that, it's not, fake news is not something that it's used to convince people who have a different point of view, but instead to keep the ones on your side
yeah,
convinced.
exactly. So you have to look at it like from which point of view that news is brought and written. That is also very important, because usually when you read newspapers from respectable newspaper, some of them say, okay, we read it, we accept it. But we sometimes have to read what is the interest, who's writing it, and where does it come from. These things have to be analyzed. And also, I think the news sometimes, because we here in Europe, of coronavirus, we hear about Belgium, of course, Italy, neighboring countries, but we never hear about how is it going on in Argentina, or how is coronavirus affecting Africa. This we don't read. We have to look for ourselves. We have to go to look from different kind of media and look for what do they write about it in other part of the world. So it's very difficult. Sometimes here it's one-sided. It's like, yes, you have to go after it yourself. And
Yeah.
what I like when I met you is like you start to think about these things, and you go and do research and also write something that you say that I want to inform people in another way as well. So I think that it's quite important. That's also the reason why I wanted to have you here for this live stream, because you are a young person, you reflect, and you are there as well to think and give your opinion based on things that you have researched yourself. I think that it's one thing that we can say, like for younger generation, is like not always take everything like a given truth, but go further, look further for what is happening somewhere, and look, maybe you can find other truth as well, and you can balance it.
What you
Isn't
said
it?
it's even happening here, because you say uh, in Europe you're not talking about what is happening, what is going on with the virus in Latin America, but even here we're not talking about what is happening in Latin America. We know what's happening in Europe, we know what's happening in the United States. We know a bit of what's happening in Brazil, but there are other things, other countries we're not talking about. And for example, um, in Argentina, there's this idea that Argentina has been an example on how to face the virus. We have very few cases in comparison to other countries, and also very few deaths. Uh, so people, well, some media here try to talk about something like the Argentine model that other countries are seeing as a good example of what must be done. But what we're not talking about is that Paraguay did it first. Few people know that Paraguay was, I believe it was probably the most efficient country dealing with the virus. And no one talks about it. And many people don't even know it, because not even here in Latin America we talk about our own region.
Mhm.
And I guess it's probably happening the same in Africa, in Asia.
Mhm. Yes, you need to get the information. Usually, I get it, but usually from other media that I sometimes say, "Where do you come from? I've never heard about you. I need to do some research," and it's a pity. And then when you do the research and when you post, sometimes I do post some of those information, and then you see that maybe someone here would pick it up, would go and do their own research, okay, how is the situation there? And it's a little
Yeah.
bit, the news is quite selective, I must say.
Yes, it
So
is.
yeah, that's the case, and especially for Latin America, we don't know a lot about it. We know just maybe the few lines, but we don't know a lot about how is it happening, or even if the coronavirus is it the thing that people are the most concerned about, because over here it's about this. When you go to Africa, it's coronavirus too, but it's also people are dying from hunger and other things that would say, okay, coronavirus comes in maybe second, third into that thing. So
Well, in Argentina, the virus, the pandemic, has arrived in a moment of economic crisis. We had an ongoing economic crisis, which makes our response to the pandemic more difficult than it was for other countries, even for other countries in the region.
yeah,
Uh, So I actually don't know how this is going to impact in the long run. I don't study economics, so that's not something that I would know. But I do know that our government's capacity to deal with the pandemic is quite limited because of it. And some people say it might be beneficial because we're negotiating our debt. The pandemic hit us when we were already in a hard situation. So you said you was hoping for everything to recover quickly, and what I said is I don't think it will be as easier for Argentina as it is going to be for other countries. We have two big
Yes,
problems
it will be.
now, while other countries have this one. So it's probably going to take longer here, and it's going to be harder, uh, but it will eventually happen.
Okay, so I wish you best of luck with it. And I also wanted to show you something. I think last time we forgot this here,
Yes, I know. I
and it
remember.
was like the first time you remember. Okay,
Yes, I do.
it's the first time I said, okay, we had to do the shoot together. It was last summer,
Yeah.
and were you surprised when I when we did it? When I asked, like, because it has a lot of makeup on it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This.
Yes, the makeup is really good in that photo shoot.
Mm. Yeah, but we're not surprised when I was like, okay, we will do more makeup with it.
Well, it was. I was glad that you were trusting on me with that.
Hmm. But you did very well. It's like especially the clothes from Walter van Beerdonk came out really nice, and also your expression was really amazing. And even yes, after that I discovered that you could sing so nice, so that's why. Okay, I'm really glad that we could do this together.
I think it was the most expensive clothes I've ever worn.
From Walter van Beerdonk.
Yes.
Yes, because he's one of the Belgian six, huh? One of the Belgian
Yeah.
six designers. Have done several shoots, yes, in collaboration. So it was really a pleasure to have you in that shoot. Okay. And I also wanted to ask her because maybe more like now we are coming a little bit to the end. If we could have like maybe a third one, a third song, because the first one I didn't hear very well. So if I could have like one last, like as a closure of it. Yeah.
You just improvise one. I cannot promise it's going to be great.
Okay.
But I will try. I will try, and we can finish with this one.
Mhm.
Okay. Just a second.
Or Felipe,
Sorry.
do you remember when you were here and you sang one song that you did very well?
Yes, it's. I'm going to sing one from the same artist, but I cannot sing the one you're talking about because I don't know how to play on the guitar. It's harder. When I sang it at your place, it was we used the YouTube like
Yes.
acoustic, so that was
Okay.
easier.
You go. You can go.
How could we know that one day tomorrow but we'll see? But the boss will waiting for you. So far to go, but you've already reached the light, your new beginning. Chapters are written out for you, down in the hurting from a broken heart. Trying to figure out how this is real, 'cause you're never coming back down. They belong to the stars in the ground. times that love me was so if you didn't say your goodbye, don't worry, love will power. Cause they're never coming back down. They belong to the stars in the sky. How do we come? If you're not moving with us, constantly die. Time will move in our favor. They'll never know, but they just keep on asking when we're down here curtain from a broken heart, trying to figure out how this is real. Cause you're never coming back down. You belong to the stars in the sky. Goodbye, good times. Hello, me, it was so for you. You didn't say your goodbye. Don't worry, that will happen. No, I'm sorry. How was I to know this would be our last goodbye? That the world would see. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Don't cry, just think of the good times you left behind. I love it was so for you. No, no, if you didn't say your goodbyes, don't worry, I will back with you. Cause you're never coming back down. You belong to the stars in the sky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Voilà. I think we come now close to the end.
Yes.
So, yes, I would say
Thanks for having me.
it's a pleasure. Say, keep safe. Greetings to everyone, and we stay in touch. Okay?
Okay, you too.
Yeah.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.